Fun fact about me.
I like booty.
No. Not booty. I like beauty.
Oh, now I see.
Anyway, according to the endless well of wisdom that is Wikipedia, beauty is a feature of objects that makes said objects pleasurable to perceive. And in my personal living experience, beauty has always been the primary motivation to throw myself into new experiences. Some of these experiences lived up to my first impression of them,
美味しい
and some not quite.
まずい
Beauty was also the reason why I got my hands on the game that I'm gonna review in today's video. Will it live up to my first impression of it? Let's find out, shall we? So, without further stalling, here are my thoughts on ICO. ICO is an action-adventure game that tells a story about a very horny boy named ICO, who, because of his horniness, gets locked up in a weird coffin, stationed in a seemingly abandoned fortress, because apparently, being horny in his village is considered to be a bad omen or something. The boy isn't quite accepting of his fate, so he starts to wiggle around in the coffin, with the hope to escape. The mighty wiggle causes the coffin to fall and break open, and while exploring the deserted, stone-cold rooms of the fortress, he comes upon an oversized birdcage containing a fair young lady inside of it. The boy releases the girl, and together, they go on a quest to vacate the fortress's premises. The story in ICO is very simple, but special, and what gives it the special factor is the way that the story is presented and told to us. The slow camera pans and the ethereal nature of the game's soundtrack gives it a mysterious and otherworldly feel. And when combined with the fact that the characters speak in two different fictional languages, and one of them is not even translated into any of our earthly tongues, it got me intrigued to the core, and I absolutely needed to see the ending of this game. While playing ICO, you'll notice that all you're asked to do in this game is to hold the fair young lady's hand and to drag her around beautifully crafted environments while solving platforming puzzles in order to traverse said beautiful environments. Occasionally you'll get attacked by dark and smoky ghost enemies that are trying to take the girl through an ominous dark portal from which they themselves are spawning from. Your only means of defense against the smokies is a stick, but on rare occasions, you'll also have the honor to swing around an actual sword, which is way deadlier than the stick. Despite the game featuring tons of hand-holding between the main characters, it didn't do the same to me at all, which resulted in me being stuck on a puzzle just because the game didn't tell me I could swing on them chains. Other than that, the puzzles were very satisfying to solve, but the ghost beating sections on the other hand were very tedious, especially the bigger waves. All you can do in these sections is to spam the attack button on them, and the majority of the time, you'll be forced to smack them around with a stick, which, as I said before, it's very inefficient for spiriting them away. From an audio-visual perspective, the game looks and sounds phenomenal. The world and character designs seems to have been built by combining Aztec and Northern European motifs, and the art style itself is anime-inspired, with its highly detailed backgrounds and simpler character shading. The game's lighting is in a league of its own to this very day. The usage of bloom and mimicked HDR lighting creates an atmosphere of dreamlike beauty, which gives the game a very soft but powerful look. The animation work is also of an outstanding quality, and much like the art style, it too has an aura of uniqueness to it. The only animation that stood out as weird to me was the walking cycle. ICO is animated to look around while walking, but he moves his head way too often, which makes him look like he can barely support it. Overall, I really like the game's visual identity, and I think that it's quite unique. The music is another high point of the game's presentation. It's only used during cutscenes and the ghost beating sections, but despite of its minimal use, it still manages to grab the attention of the audience. I was especially impressed by the battle theme. It's very low-key, but it still manages to create a feeling of unnerving tension. In the moments of exploration, we're left with only the sounds of the environments to keep us company, which adds a hint of peacefulness to the game's dreamlike atmosphere. Well, it turns out that ICO's external beauty is an adequate expectation setter of its overall quality. Needless to say, the game looks and sounds amazing, and it successfully uses its looks and sounds to create a very strong and compelling atmosphere. Solving the puzzles was very satisfying, but the fighting sections felt like tedious time fillers. All in all, I'm quite satisfied with the experience, and it's definitely one of the few works of art that I'll cherish forever. Thank you guys for watching, and if I manage to make another video, I hope I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day!